Sheila Gunn Reid for Rebel News, and despite the gloomy weather, I'm actually in Madrid, Spain, covering the UN Global Warming Conference. I'm outside the walls of the conference because my colleague Cian Bexey and I have been forbidden by the UN from reporting inside. Actually, the UN has forbidden all of my colleagues from reporting on all UN events because the Canadian government has asked them to keep us out, and of course the UN was more than happy to oblige. Now, earlier in the week here, my colleague Cian Bexey investigated the acres and acres of parking lots here that are full of cars at this conference that wants us all to use our cars a little less. And Cian also investigated the electric car chargers that nobody's using because nobody is driving an electric car here. So I thought I would do a bit of a social experiment this morning. I came early before the delegates got here, because the conference starts at 10, because these government workers and bureaucrats, they love to put in a solid 6 hours of work here every day. Anyway, I came early and I just stood on the corner and started filming how everybody is getting here. And you'll notice, I think, exactly what I did when you see the video. Just watch. Did you notice the same thing I did? It is luxury vehicles and individual taxis. And it is just a traffic snarl of taxis, of government delegates, elites, the people who want you and I to walk, take a bike, take public transit. Well, they sure aren't doing it. And this conference has a transit station right underneath it. Actually, it's a subway station, a metro station, as you can see the sign indicates there. So right underneath the conference, there is a subway that can get all these delegates here if they are so inclined to use it, but they just aren't. It's just a slow trickle of delegates coming up from the subway system, while the rest of them are taking individual taxis and luxury cars to get here. I also noticed that there were really no charter buses here to get the delegates onto the grounds. There's one bus that pulled up, let a few people off, and another charter bus letting off what looks like school children to come into the conference to, of course, be brainwashed into the fear and anxiety that the world is going to end in 12 or 8 years or whatever the new doomsday countdown is. Cian and I have been here for most of the week pointing out the hypocrisy of the United Nations, and we will continue to do so, and that is exactly why these people have banned us. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. To see all of our reports from here on the ground in Madrid, Spain at the UN Global Warming Conference, please go to rebelun.com. And while you're there, if you feel the urge, you can kick in to cover the cost to send us here. It's not cheap to go to these things, but we think it's important, and we think you do too, because we're the only ones telling the other side of the story. Again, that website is rebelun.com.